Hello? Oh boy.
Hi.
There
Can
you
you see
are.
me?
Hey.
Okay. I think we're okay. Got to sit back farther, maybe.
I know, right? It's kind of like I'm not
Oh,
myself on the screen. I'm like, you have to talk because I don't want to see myself.
I know. Wait, are you there? It was a blank screen for a while.
I know, me too. I was like, where are you? Okay.
So
So,
is this broadcasting live on your YouTube?
yeah, it is. It says it is. I
Okay.
don't think anybody's watching it though.
Oh yeah, that's good.
So, okay. So I guess we'll go ahead and get started. Um, Let me just make sure I have all my notes in place and ready to go here. Because I kind of threw it together at the last minute. I hate these kind of things. Okay, hi Tracy. It's nice
Hi.
to finally meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, I live in Pensacola, Florida, right across the street from the water, near the beaches. I love it. It's right on the Gulf Coast. When people think Florida, they think peninsular Florida, but I'm actually like 7 minutes from Alabama. So
Oh,
I'm like right in the panhandle, the very, very westernmost point. So that's it's just become home since I moved here in '98, and I love it. So um, I homeschool my youngest son. I've got older kids that have moved out already, and I'm happily married with a dog, two cats, a bird, all that good stuff. Got
nice.
a full house.
And you're in school too, so that's pretty awesome.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
now you can understand a little about my time management crisis today.
Yeah, no worries. I get it.
Freaked out a little bit. I was like, oh my God, I can't do this. I'm going to cancel. I can't do it. So I'm sorry.
No, but you got through it, so that's awesome.
Yes.
Great. So just a little bit about me. My name is Megan. Obviously, I'm your health coach, and just some background about me. 6 years ago, I lost 8 pounds, and I started a website, and all of a sudden, a lot of people started following me and asking me a lot of questions about, what kind of recipes I made and the food I ate, how I worked out. It was kind of unexpected. That led me into health coaching and helping other people sort of discover, what their definition of health is. For me, when I'm coaching clients, I don't try to prescribe any type of diet or my type of diet. I want them to feel like the experience is truly theirs, and they define what is best for them in their life, because what may be, right for me isn't going to be necessarily right for you. So that's a little bit about me. Do you have any questions about any of that?
What made you start a formal schooling on the health coaching?
What made me start was, well, I got really sick a few years ago. So for like 2 years, I was passed around from a lot of doctors, and nobody could figure out what was going on with me. My hormones were shutting down one by one. I was getting really sick, losing a lot of weight. And finally, I saw a naturopath who really figured out what was going on with me. I had celiac disease and Hashimoto's. Surprising that none of the other traditional doctors could figure that out, but that was my experience anyway. So as I was sharing my story on my website with a lot of my followers, they were really interested about that, and really, I was overwhelmed with the amount of women who responded about, hey, I'm having the same exact issue. I haven't, been able to get help. How can you help me? And so I thought the only way that I can really reach these people is by going into health coaching and, getting certified.
Okay. That's awesome.
Yeah. How about you? How did you get into health coaching?
It started in 2005. My son was diagnosed with ADHD, and he was on medication because I did what the school wanted me to do. And actually, it started a little earlier than that, but 2005 is when the gifted teacher told me after spring break, I sent him back to school without Ritalin. And she told me in order for him to be in her class that he needed to be on prescription medication because he can't be living to his full potential and working well in her classroom without Ritalin. So I pulled him immediately. She patted me on the back and said, "Good luck, he's yours to deal with now," or "He's your problem to deal with now," or something like that about my son. So I sat there and got a little mad, and then I started researching like the Feingold diet and artificial colors, preservatives, organic eating. Like it just started there. And then after that, we went through Hurricane Ivan. And even though we didn't lose our home, we lost our business, and like the area was so hard hit. And being self-employed at the time, we were doing artwork framing. So the people, when you have nothing, you're not going to spend money to frame a picture. So that was like a luxury item. So we basically had no income, no anything. And we moved to a family farm in Ohio, and we did organic farming. It was 400 acres of certified organic woodlands, crops, field crops, and like market produce and stuff like that. So we did that, and I took herbalism classes up there, and I just got on this passion, like this is what I'm supposed to do with my life. And then, my husband finally said, "It's time for you to get official." So I signed up, financial aid covered it. I said, "I'm in." So
Wow.
I actually started it in 2013, but then my oldest son came back to live with me, and I had to go back to work full time. And so I actually had to stop then. And then I just restarted in January. So now
Wow.
I'm in a better place and able to do it. So here I am.
That's awesome. That's great.
So,
It's funny
okay.
how life ends up on a journey.
Yeah, I think everything that we go through brings us to where we are and prepares us for what we really need.
Yeah,
So,
that's a good thought.
yeah.
Okay, so let's get some of the nonsense out of the way. I call it nonsense because it's just the standard forms for health coaching that I like to share with everybody. I like to do it up front just so we get it out of the way and we're both on the same page about the health coaching process.
Hmm.
Okay. Um, so policies and procedures, there's a couple forms that I'm going to email you, but basically the policies are pretty straightforward. I request a 24-hour notice of cancellation. We can reschedule if it's, within that 24 hours, but unfortunately, if it's less than 24 hours, we'll be charged for that as if it were a coaching session. Obviously, if it's an emergency, a father dies, a brother dies, somebody's in the hospital, we'll work something out. Don't worry about it. But just honor my time and I'll honor your time as well.
Hmm.
The other thing is around procedures, just making sure that, we're on time for all of our sessions. That's what that form is all about, making sure that you honor the time. If we're supposed to start at 11 o'clock, let's start at 11 o'clock and then we'll end at 12 o'clock. My time and your time are both very valuable, so I want to make sure we get the most out of the session. If you're 15 minutes late, I can't run 15 more minutes over because I may have another client after you. Okay. Do you have any questions on any of that stuff?
No, it's pretty
Okay.
standard. Thanks.
And again, I will send you everything so you can review it as well. The other thing is the consent form. So with health coaching, I just want to be very clear that health coaching is not a doctor treatment plan. It's not a nutritional treatment plan from a registered dietitian. This is coaching. This is not any type of treatment of an illness, of a disease. It's not prescribing medication of any way or shape or form. I'm really here to partner with you and to guide you through your health journey and to lead you in that so you're not alone. In terms of fees, I will also send you in the packet after our discussion my fees. I've got 3 different programs that you can see in the fee schedule. While I'm in school, I'm actually offering for anybody who registers while I'm in school, they're going to get lower prices. The prices are pretty reasonable compared to a lot of health coaches that are out there. And I'm also offering anybody who signs up tomorrow $50 off all of the packages. So there is that. So I will send that to you. And then if you have any questions afterwards, feel free to send me an email and I can answer those.
Okay. Is this initial assessment free?
Yes.
Okay.
It is. So speaking of assessment, I sent you an email earlier on focusing choices.
Yes.
Yeah. So we're going to start with that today. Did you get an opportunity to look at that?
Yes, I did. Let me pull it up on my phone right now.
Perfect. And somehow my Microsoft Word is not wanting to work today.
There it is.
So typically what we'll do in our next session, which will be longer, we'll go through a full history and look at your medical history and lifestyle, things like that of that nature. But that form takes a really long time. So for today, just to kind of get us to know each other a little bit better and what some of your goals are, I thought it would be a good idea for us to talk about a couple different areas of your life that maybe you want to change or improve and what the status of those areas are for you right now. So we don't have to do all 5. Maybe you only have 1 or 2 things that you really want to talk about, and we can discuss those today, or we can do 5 or less or more, or whatever you want. It's all.
Well, I have a couple things I can think of that I have to focus on changing. With homeschool just getting ready to start up again, and now managing homeschool plus my school plus, being self-employed, we have 3 different businesses, and, trying to get in fitness and trying to take care of myself and have time for me. So I really need to, I don't know if I need to make a time map and do some scheduling, or seems like whenever I do that, I get myself all psyched up. And then the first day I'm like, okay, Monday, fresh start. I'm going to follow this. And then Monday comes around and I get off to a late start and it doesn't work. And then I'm like, throw my papers up in the air and get all dramatic and say, forget it, I just can't do this. So I need to find a way to have grace with myself and have balance in my schedule, but at the same time, not get too far off. I mean, if I get 5 hours behind, that's going to mess up my whole day. Whereas if I catch myself every, half hour or every hour increment, I'm supposed to be moving on to school, or I'm supposed to be doing my blogging right now, or I'm supposed to be doing this or that. If I can move back into that, then that's going to be something that I really just need to focus on, time management. So that's why. Yeah.
You definitely have a lot on your plate.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely do, but I definitely my schedule is so wide open and flexible that might even be part of the problem, because I don't have to be anywhere at any certain time besides exercise classes. And if I don't go to them, I'm only hurting myself. So it's not it's not hard set, I'm going to lose my job if I don't show up. So the flexibility, I think, is, I'm sorry, my dog. I looked over and he has one of my papers hanging from his chin. I was like, what are you doing? But it just stuck to his face. Sorry. So that's another thing. I need to make sure that I take time to get in fitness and work that into my routine. And, I just recently started that back up. And I've just recently lost about 20 pounds just through what I'm learning in Sweha, basically, and choices and things like that. So now I need to, get rid of some of the wobbles and things like that. I need to start being fit and get more active. I want to be my best at, 40. I'm 43 right now, so I want to look better at 43 than I did at 30. And I think I'm on the way, but I just want to feel better. I want to be healthy. I want to, all around. When you look good, you feel good, as vain as it sounds.
Yeah. I definitely understand.
So
is that your second thing, is to really focus on your fitness then?
Yes.
Is that what I'm doing? Okay.
It's to continue with healthy, whole nutrition. Because previously I had done fad diet after fad diet. So get away from just trying to lose weight and get more into just becoming healthier and more fit. And then time management was the first one. And then I think they're my two like main things. Just for this initial session, I'll spend some more time thinking about that, you
Okay.
know. But for now, I think they're the ones.
And so you said time management and focusing on your overall health and fitness.
Hmm.
So the first one, for the time management one, so if you made that change, manage your time better, how do you think that your overall life or health would be improved?
So I think that I would be less stressed. I would have more patience with my son. I would have more time to do, like family walks. We could sit together and like prepare meals together, and I could get more, of the nutrition into my 13-year-old's brain. I could do a lot more if I'm not constantly frantic trying to get my school done at the last minute or catch up because I'm behind, or
Yeah.
make sure I get my paycheck on Fridays by getting my blogs done, and just things like that. It's just, if I take off a bite at a time, I will be able to have a more calm evening and time
What
with
do
my
you think are some of your biggest barriers right now?
just getting overwhelmed. And I'm not sure how much I subscribe to it, but I think there is something behind the ADHD and the focus. And, I think, when I look back at all of my report cards all through grade school, it was like, doesn't work to potential, talks too much, like all the same things that all of my children who were ADHD diagnosed, they all had that. So I bet you back then, if there was a diagnosis, they would have diagnosed me with that. So I'll get up in the morning, I'll start on one thing, and I'll get halfway through that, and I'll see something else that needs to be done, and then I turn to that, and I get, I don't spend my time, properly, and I don't complete a task once I start it. So I have all these open-ended things, and then at the end of the day, I'm like, what did I do today? Nothing. So that's pretty much where I am with time management. That, and then I get overwhelmed and I say forget it, and I go right back to bed, or I play gin rummy online or something. I'm like, I just can't.
Yeah. And you said, just so that I'm clear, you said you were never diagnosed with ADHD?
No. Mm-mm.
Okay. Interesting. Interesting that all of your sons have been diagnosed with it.
Right. Well, at the time, I mean, back in those days, they didn't really, that wasn't a big focus. Like, I'm sure if it would have been nowadays, or 10 or 15 years ago, rather than 30 when I was in grade school,
Yeah.
I probably would have had that tick mark right next to it. So
There's a lot of, things I think like that today. I mean, even like celiac disease and lactose intolerance. I've been lactose intolerant my whole life, and I just found out a few years ago.
exactly. And I am not celiac, but I am wheat intolerant. Like, when I go without it, I did an elimination diet and I put it back in my diet, and I puffed out like I was pregnant. I mean, it was crazy. Like, I get bloated, I get stomach pain, all kinds of stuff. So, it's definitely, the nutrition has a whole lot to do with it, cutting out all the bad stuff and the processed stuff. And I think that's going to help me also, with focus and things like that. I just started with omega-3s, just trying to get the brain focus and the different things like that. So I don't know if you can see behind me, that's all bulk herbs. So all of those jars up top. So I'm going to do a little bit more research and start using the teas and the calming things at night, so that I can, get my brain to shut down at night and actually sleep, and then wake up in the morning. And, I've got all these tools. I just don't use them all. So I need to focus and use what I've got and get ahead. So it's crazy.
Yes. So time management is a big one for you. How would you rank yourself in time management in terms of how ready are you willing to work on that and make changes?
Like on the form, like 1 to 5, like on your
Mhm.
form, I would say I'm 5. I'm absolutely ready. I'm all in. Like I said, it's crunch time. I have to do this. So
And I sort of, you said that the health and the fitness stuff is your second goal. Now, I sort of feel like those play together, right?
they probably pretty much do.
You agree? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I have to take the time to actually, or make the time to go to a fitness class, to go to my yoga class, to not be overwhelmed by all the stuff I have to do that I just don't feel like I can leave the house. Or, I think that's another obstacle. You were talking about obstacles, challenges, that I don't have to leave the house. So I can get up and I can just, stay in pajamas and no makeup and no hair all day. And a lot of times you just don't feel like I want to go out in public and make that effort to do all that. So I think that's also a barrier for, going out and doing things that I need to do for me. So
Sure.
it sounds silly, but it just gets put on the bottom burner.
Yeah. So how long ago, you said you started going to fitness classes again? How long ago was that?
That was just 2 months ago.
Okay.
So,
And how often would you say you're going?
when I started, I was going basically 5 to 6 days a week, and I absolutely loved it. But it's a matter of the schedule changed. So now this month, when back to school starts, which is today, now she'll start offering some more earlier morning classes instead of just afternoon classes. And like the schedule just completely flip flopped once I was in a groove. So then I kind of backed off a little bit, and I've only been to two since August, and this is my second week. I should have already had 5 or 6 in. So, I paid for unlimited monthly classes. So I feel like that's another thing. I feel like I'm pressured. You got to go. You spent this money, go. So I really need to get there.
Sometimes that's not a bad thing, though. It's a motivation.
It's my motivating factor.
Yes, exactly. But it sounds like to me, based on what you're saying, you wanted to go there, but you struggle with the scheduling and the time management.
Yeah, I get overwhelmed and then I get lazy. It's very easy for me to just say, forget it, I'm not going to do it. And I've been flaky like that all my life. And there you go. Get rid of flakiness. That's number 3 thing. Put that book together too. I'm just like,
No.
yeah, I'll be there. I'm not coming.
Like you just have a lot going on. You have so many options in your life. You don't know what direction to go.
Right. I guess that's what it is. But it appears on the outside to people who don't know me as, oh, don't count on her. She'll back out at the last minute. So I need to get over that too.
So would you say you have a routine that you follow at all? Week to week?
No, that's part of the problem. I need to create a routine, and that routine has to include, I have to get my 13-year-old on a routine as well. Before this session, like I'm running around, I got to make him, he asked for a grilled cheese sandwich, got to make him a grilled cheese sandwich, got to get myself ready, got to watch the presentation so I know what I'm talking about while I'm getting ready for this. And, it's like I had to squeeze everything in at the last minute, whereas if I would have just done a little at a time, and, I have a time budgeting issue. So.
Time budgeting. How often are you schooling your son then, or how many hours a day rather?
It's not a requirement for hours, and this year is going to be different. It's our first year. See, this is why I have to have that little grace and balance with myself, because he's taking a few courses online this year that he's never done before. So I don't know how he's going to do with online courses. I'm probably going to sit with him in the beginning because he's kind of used to me spoon feeding him. And, it's going to be some classes I'm teaching him, and he's in 8th grade, and then some classes I want him to get used to the virtual school so that if we decide to go that route for high school, he'll know what to expect, and I'll see if online learning is, okay for him, because some kids just can't do that. So this year is like experimental, and so that's another thing is I'm going to wake up and I'm going to have you breakfast at this time, and then from this time to this time I'm going to do school with you, and then my school's here to, I don't have anything like that, and I don't know that it will happen until I'm a little bit into it and know what to expect. So it's a bit of a challenge to set it up.
Yeah, it's hard to plan when you don't know exactly what you're supposed to expect yet, right?
Exactly. I mean, he's accepted and in the classes, but they're not scheduled yet. Like he's not assigned to a classroom yet. So, I said the earliest that we would start is Monday. Well, that's the earliest they start assigning classrooms. So I have no idea when he's going to actually be physically starting virtual school. So it could be 2 weeks afterwards, they said. And I didn't know that when I signed him up. So, the next month or so is going to be a huge transition, and that's going to be my biggest challenge, just to try to get everything in a non-stressful way.
So speaking of online school, you're in online school, as you mentioned. Do you find it challenging, pacing yourself in your online school?
Absolutely. I completely let everything go until Thursday or Friday, and then I sit down and that's all I do Thursday or Friday. And that, that could change. That could be so much better if I would do a little bit at a time and not have a whole day, because then I don't look at it until Thursday, and then I'm, wow, this is a really intense week. I have to do this. I have to do that. That really, it throws me for a loop and stresses me out. And then I get to that overwhelm thing that, I'm letting stuff go, and it's only a 10% assessment off. And, I can't do it. I'm like, I have to get out of this mindset and get myself together. So,
Yeah.
and this course especially is extremely time consuming. So leaving things go until the last minute on this one is just not an option.
Would you say you feel like you work better under pressure?
Sometimes, yes. Other times, absolutely not. I just throw in the towel.
You got a lot of stuff done in a short period of time. I do know this.
I did today. I absolutely had to. But if I have the option to do it or to not do it, a lot of times I will take the not do it option. But today I had to do it because somebody else was involved. Like, I was like, I can't let down Megan. So it's like, it's not fair to her. She's prepared and I'm not. So that's what motivated me to sit down, lock myself in my office and do it. So, maybe I need to schedule stuff with other people so that I'm accountable and I don't just say, forget it.
Maybe that might be a thought.
It's horrible. I guess I have to see that what I have to do is important enough to actually make it a priority, and it's not just because it's somebody else. Hey, that other person might be me. Hey, you're letting yourself down. Get to class. So I don't know. It's easy to put yourself at the bottom of the totem pole when, you've got so many other things to do. You're just tired by the end, and it's like, it's not that important for me, but it really is. So.
And that's what you really have to evaluate is what the level of importance it is for you, right? And with that goal in mind, then that's how you start establishing, how you want to change, right?
Right.
Or
right.
What you get to do.
Right. And with going and exercising, that's increased energy. And I'll feel better and I'll be able to do more because I won't just be overwhelmed and not want to get out of bed and tie my shoes in the morning. Sorry.
No problem. Hey, I just want to apologize. It's getting dark here because it's supposed to storm.
Right. Well, we've been storming all day. So the only light in here is the actual physical light. It's not daylight outside.
I thought that was sunlight.
Nope.
It's getting really dark. We get crazy monsoons in Arizona in the afternoon, and this week has been quite eventful.
My friend is in Chandler, and she actually posted one blowing through like over her pool and all the whipping around, and it's crazy.
It's crazy. Okay, so to wrap up, so we talked about your fitness goals and health goals being your primary focus as well as your time management. So for our next session, we'll talk a little bit more in depth about that and what things, in the meantime, I want you to think about what things, one or two things that you might be able to easily do right now to help yourself with those things.
Okay.
So between now and our next session. And then just to reiterate, I'm going to send you all program forms via email, as well as I'm going to send you one new form, which is the intake form, and that'll tell me, give me more information about you, your lifestyle, your health history, anything else you want to share with me, feel free. And if you have questions on any of the forms, feel free to email me. I'm here for you.
Okay. Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. So do you want to end this one, and then I'll call back and it'll put it to my YouTube? Okay. Well, thank you.